Hey guys, my name is Angie, but everyone knows me as Gigi over on DeviantArt. I started painting this picture recently. The name of it is Nocturne, and I thought that perhaps I would record so that I could show some of you guys, a few of my techniques. And I start out here with very rough line art of basic ideas that I wanted for the picture to turn out at the end, well, not at the end, but at the start. I've got a couple of ideas for things that I want to add in along the way, but I'm not going to concentrate on those. Pretty much what I do is I just start blocking in colors on the line art layer, and then I just work from there. I'm hoping maybe this will help some artists out there to see, certain techniques and ways you can do things. I'm not a professional artist by any means. I'm pretty much just a hobbyist, but I do enjoy coming up with these pictures and ideas and things whenever I get the chance to. Yeah, as you can see here, I start off just basic colors. I know that I want her outfit to be mostly black. And because she's wearing like a leather coat and a corset that's also made of leather material. And I just get in some basic tones. And I don't start off light or dark. I usually start off with a mid-tone, and then I work in highlights and shadows. That's just the easiest way for me to do it. I know some artists like to start off with dark shadows and then add in, lighter tones as they go along. But, it just depends on your personal preference as an artist, of course. This video isn't specifically a completed video. Oh, well, I should say that this art isn't completed. I'm not done with the image yet either. Right there, what I'm doing is I was just putting in color that I'm not going to keep. I'm not going to keep that tone of lips. I'm just trying to differentiate so I don't lose too much of the shape of her lips in the process of coloring her skin. But as I was saying at the end of this picture, though, I pretty much just end up with what most artists refer to as a work in progress. But I thought that I would record as I go along and go ahead and stick this on YouTube or somewhere so that everyone can kind of see, oh well, this is how it started out. And maybe I'll get some ideas from some watchers along the way. I already have a pretty set idea in mind, though, of where I want the general direction to go. I just did the background as a gradient that I put together. I wanted, because when I usually depict this character, she is an original character of mine, and I've written her into several stories. When I depict her, she has a very dual-tone personality, and it usually clashes. She's not the most serene person when it comes to her inner self. So I wanted there to be a really dynamic contrast in the colors of the background that I could use to, draw her colors from. Because when I paint, I, of course, use the eyedropper tool, which when you've got the brush tool selected, you alt-click to pick up the color, and it saves a lot of time. So, yes, I am working on the breasts. Definitely not my forte. As much as I love painting women more than I do men, I hate painting breasts. Because they're just so hard for me to get to look right. I think I'm actually doing a pretty good job so far on them, though, with what I've done to the picture at this point. But, well, not this point in the video, but in actuality. But I hate doing them because there's symmetrics to breasts that really need to be in place. And if you don't get them in place, they can end up looking pretty weird. And here I'm adding a couple of, basic, just taking the tones of the pictures, adding some blending to what I've gotten down already. Normally whenever I start a picture off, I will concentrate on the face first, after I've gotten a lot of the color and the tones in, blocked in my shades and all that. I will start working on the face tremendously more than any other part of the picture, because I just have the opinion that if the face works out, pretty much you can get the rest of the picture to fall into place. And here's the only part of the picture where I actually work on the hand at all. Pretty much I just kind of paint in the fingers to point in the direction that I kind of want them to go, a way that kind of looks natural. And Hands I will leave alone for a while because, like breasts, I don't like painting them very much. I actually enjoy painting them much more than breasts, come to think of it. I try to do some shadows and highlights over here. If you notice, the paint on the arm kind of really blends in with that yellow in the background, and I'm hoping to use that as a light source, the yellow tone, because that's the color of the light in the pictures. Well, from behind her is yellow, so I may end up adding a second light source on the front side of her body, but if I do, it's going to be very dull color because I don't want to, retract from that backlighting, if you want to call it that. I never pay too much attention to details at this point either. If you notice on my layer palette, I typically stick to 3 layers. I keep the original line art on an invisible layer, just in case the direction that it goes just doesn't flow right and I need to start all over again. Whenever I go to add something new, like I'm doing here with the hair, I make a new layer above that and I start painting to it, and then I'll invis the new layer and see if I like where I've gone, and if not, like just right there, but if not, I'll delete it. And this is the liquefy tool. I know some of you may already know about that, but it helps you to refine the shape. As you can see, I thought her breast looked too flat, so I pumped it up a little bit. And then just let it load, and you can undo and redo to see if you like the changes, and if not, you can do whatever again. At this point in the picture, though, I usually don't delete too many of the changes, just because the picture's in such a skeletal stage. I just focus on the shapes and some shadows. Well, should I say some details to the shadows, but not too often. I'm pretty much just wanting everything to fall into place at this point, and because if I can get that flowing, then I know I'm going to have an easier time of it in the future. Noses, oddly enough, they don't give me too much problem, and if they do, I don't know, I guess I'm pretty lucky, because normally I can tend to just paint over it and then repaint it and it looks fine the second try. I don't know if that's just me, or if in the future I'm going to curse my luck with that. Oh, right here I realized I was painting her face on the hair layer. So let this be a lesson to all of you artists out there. Know what layer you're painting on. It'll save you a lot of trouble. Now I'm gonna add a little bit more color to her lips. Try to get that line in there. On that one side looked pretty murky because I had painted over it so much. The brushes I use at this stage in the picture is always a hard round brush with the airbrush clicked, because the hard round brush, it does help to make your coloring look a bit more realistic. I go over it later with the soft round brush just to blend a couple of the tones in, but at this point I don't worry about that. I just use that hard one. I'm hoping I don't sound too monotone to you guys out there. This is the first time I've ever attempted something like this, so I hope it's coming okay so far. You can understand what I'm talking about. And the character's name is Kaylee O'Donovan. She's a Irish girl. I don't want to give away too many details about her character, but she's very sassy. Of course, she's Irish, and there I go digging into my music, but she's very sassy, very Irish. She looks a little bit sweet at this point, and I'm hoping to kind of give her a little more pizzazz and some attitude in the future, as this picture goes along. But for now, I'm just, I'm not too worried about her expression. I can always, change a little bit later if I feel like, it's necessary. But you know, this is how the picture got started out, and I hope that this is you know, giving you guys a little insight to, you know, your own pieces maybe. And hopefully she'll keep going along pretty smoothly, because I think I've been having some pretty good luck so far. So I will see you guys later with a further update on Kaylee, and we'll see how things go. Bye.